Hey everyone, so we are back again with another reading, and today's reading is going to be what do people secretly admire about you but would never tell you? So, why do they look up to you, or what do they see that you've accomplished but they wouldn't actually say to your face? So, we're going to go into their secret intentions in a positive way and see what they're really thinking about you guys. And so, today we have a beautiful selection of bread and pastries. So, I will show you up close, but first, this is pile number one. Then we have pile number two, pile number three, and pile number four. So this one is pile number one. It is a lovely loaf of bread, perfect to be sliced open for a sandwich with a lot of different seeds on the top. Then we have pile number two. This is a bagel. It has some kind of, I don't know, salt or maybe, I don't know, some type of flour on the top. And yeah, it looks really good. Then we have the same kind of topping on this one, but it's breaded and you could probably just eat it with some butter, be super good. And then we have pile number four, and this is a French bread loaf. Again, perfect for a sandwich, super good. So hopefully one is calling your name. If you guys need more time to decide, feel free to pause, rewind, and take as much time as you need. You can mute me. That's okay. I won't be offended. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one. So, if you guys picked this loaf of bread, this is going to be your reading. There's some seeds on the top. They look like sesame seeds and caraway seeds. So, I'm sure this is a super tasty loaf of bread. I could just imagine putting like some ham or roast beef or something in the middle with like a tomato slice and some onions and making a super good sandwich with this. So, anyway, great choice. It's literally like a loaf of bread. It's like bigger than my hand. So, I'm just going to tuck it over there. But anyway, guys. Let's get into your reading. You guys got the Empress, Nine of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, Judgment, the Four of Pentacles, Tower, and Two of Wands. So I feel like, wow, with the Empress coming out right away and then the Nine of Pentacles, you guys are good manifestors and people see you as very successful and they really respect that, especially because Nine of Pentacles is following the Nine of Swords. And so I feel like for a lot of you guys, we're having a big mix of like negative cards and positive cards. And what I'm getting from this is you guys have been through some hardship with the Tower coming out. You guys have been through really difficult moments and you guys have handled yourselves so well. I feel like you guys have been through things that other people could have never overcome, or that's what they think is like, I can't believe that they got through that moment, or I can't believe that they did all that. To them, it's like, this is just incredible that you guys have risen from the dead is what I'm hearing. Like you guys have come from so much hardship and pain and managed to turn it into a success, and people have so much respect with that. I feel like also with Judgment coming out, you guys have good judgment, and that's what people honestly see from you is like, wow, this person just knows how to handle themselves. This person is a good planner. This person has a good brain. And I feel like people can see that you guys either are on the path to abundance or have already achieved it. I feel like there are some people just looking in that even if you haven't reached Nine of Pentacles yet, they just assume like, oh, this person has a lot of money. And people see you as someone that earned it yourself or have kept it together yourself, have done a really good job about that, handled things correctly. So there's just a lot of emphasis on like, I mean, a ton of pentacle energy and just how you guys have handled the hardships in your life and turned it into gold. So other cards we got, the Crossing, Initiation. In the hand, the Universe is your partner, Mindful, Groupthink, and Stranger, Curiosity. So I feel like a lot of people are curious about you, almost curious about how you make your money, or like, how did this person become such a success? How do they do it? Like people don't understand that you guys are master manifestors. That's usually how it works with a master manifestor, because maybe they don't have like a 9 to 5 job, but they always have their bills paid. Or maybe they, just moved to a new town and they randomly come up with some great friends or something. And people are like, how did they do this? Like, this would take me years and they managed to do it in 6 months. Like, I don't get it. And it's like, because you guys are good at manifestations, you guys are very spiritually very powerful. And you guys, again, I feel like a lot of this, it's almost like been built by all the pain and suffering you guys have gone through. It has like made you hard in a positive way, like iron or steel. You know what I mean? Like you guys you walked through the fire and you rose again like the phoenix. You leaned into it. The metaphor I'm seeing in my mind is someone diving into like a deep, dark pool and going in fully enthusiastically, like eyes closed, hands pointed out before them, like a diver or a swimmer, plunging into the water and facing whatever that deep dark pool is of pain or whatever you guys went through. I feel like some of you guys a dark night of the soul or a really hard period, and you didn't just go through it like grudgingly, like, oh, this stinks and I don't want to learn this. You were like, okay, bring it on, universe, and you went in bravely, even if you were scared or didn't really want to go through that phase, because I feel like everyone is a little reluctant when they face their dark night of the soul. Sometimes you think you're ready for it and then it happens and you're like, oh, I was joking, universe, like, never mind. I didn't really mean it when I said I wanted to grow and change. This is too much. So I'm not saying you guys were like absolutely thrilled about it, but you guys definitely went in head first, and you didn't feel sorry for yourself. You just dove in and like you were like, I'm going through this, I'm gonna handle it. And because of that, you guys really learned so many deep lessons. You were like a model student is what spirit is showing me. They're showing me someone sitting in the very front of a classroom, like raising their arm constantly, being like, call on me. Okay, I have an apple for the teacher, I did my homework early. Like, it's like, because everyone has to go through lessons in life, but we do get to control like the work we put in and how we feel about it, and our attitude to things affects the outcome. So the fact that you guys were enthusiastic about it, like the universe saw that and they were like, okay, I really respect that, because you guys could have, what I'm hearing is you guys could have thrown a fit or thrown a tantrum or been feeling sorry for yourself and just curled up in bed and been like, I don't want to do this, which of course everyone has days like that, especially during that dark night of the soul period. But you guys really leaned in and really like went for it. I feel like you didn't spend that much time feeling sorry for yourself compared to how others would have been in this era when they were faced with so much pain. So the universe is saying like, you guys just did such a good job and you're such good students with this. You guys learn all these spiritual lessons like with a open, happy heart, and that's why you guys have done so well. Just like that kid that genuinely likes school. I mean, this wasn't me. I wasn't the kid reminding the teacher that they forgot to assign us homework for the weekend. But that kid does really well in school. They get straight A's, and it's like that's the attitude you guys had, was just going into it enthusiastically. And so a lot of people have paid attention to this. I feel like in a way I'm getting some of you guys may have not even posted everything you were going through on social media, or maybe some of you did, but people were aware that y'all were dealing with stuff. They could just tell from your energy of like, wow, they haven't posted in a while, or they just seem different, or there's something about their energy. They look, like they're going through it, or they look like, I don't know, they look different or something. Not in a bad way, but just like, people are intuitive. Like, really, a lot of people are. You don't have to be a trained or professional psychic to tell these things. A lot of people get these psychic indications of things, and I feel like people could get the vibe. Like, they knew something was up, maybe not what exactly, but they knew you were going through a time. And it's like the fact that you've come out of it, and or maybe some of y'all are still in it, but you will be out of it. But there's so much blessings on the other side of this period for you guys. I feel like a lot of you guys have already come into it, and that's what people really respect, is they're like, what? How did this person go through all this hardship and now they're on the other side doing so great? Like, make it make sense. Because usually in life when someone has to like declare bankruptcy, they're not living in a mansion next year, or if someone has to like have a horrific breakup, a lot of times we don't expect them to be dating Prince Charming in another year. But a lot of times that's actually how things work out, because like, if you go through this hardship, sometimes spirit will reward you. So people are kind of like shocked, like they don't necessarily understand how the universe works, and they're like, how did this person do this? So a lot of people are curious about you. You're on a lot of people's minds, because this is a general, what do people admire about you thing. So everyone's gonna get like people who admire them, but y'all have like a lot of people who admire you, a lot of people who you're on their mind and that they're thinking about and even talking about you. But I feel like it's like positive, and it's like, how do they do it? Where do they get their money? Where do they get their abundance? Why is everyone attracted to them? Why do they have people checking them out and who have crushes on them, and you know what I mean? You guys just are it. You guys are good manifestors. So I feel like you've leveled up in many ways in your life, not just financially, but that for sure is a major thing that people are noticing. So we also got Gaia's Garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow, the winged wise ones, angelic help, miraculous aid, the middle king, discipline, armor, boundaries, and the high lady of love and compassion, reverence, kindness, consideration. So once again, with the abundance, people are noticing that even if you guys might not be in the best financial situation, you're coming off like you are. People think that you have a lot of money. So whether you do or not, this is what people admire of you, is like, wow, this person's doing so well financially. They're doing so great. And they don't, like, I keep getting a lot of people don't understand where you get this money from. Like, they're trying to do the math in their head and they're like, it's not adding up. What the heck is going on? So yeah, you guys have a certain level of abundance and everyone's noticing it. I also feel like you guys, honestly, you guys get help, a lot of help from your guides and stuff. Again, master manifestor energy, because obviously the universe is conspiring to help everyone, but I definitely feel like your guides are very active. You know, there's that joke online that's like God's favorite, and I don't want to say that's y'all, but kind of like maybe you guys have really good karma or something, because we did get reaping what you sow. But I don't know, I feel like your guides are like working extra hard for y'all, and they've been working and people notice it. They're like, why did they get lucky? Or why did they make that happen? Or like, I tried to do that same thing and I couldn't make it work. So what's going on with them? So yeah, people notice, they can kind of feel your angels around you and your guides and your ancestors and your whole team and tribe on the other side. So people are noticing this. I also feel like you guys have a good amount of boundaries up. I don't want to say you guys have RBF, you know, resting witch face, but I do feel like you guys have boundaries. Like, you're not necessarily going to be the loudest person at the party. You're not going to necessarily now, maybe in the past you would do this, but right now it seems like y'all have learned so many lessons from this. You're not going to be the person that's just spilling their guts to everyone at the party and being like, yeah, my last breakup, well, he cheated. And so, yeah. And I mean, I was broke for, like, you're not going to tell everyone your whole business. You're going to keep it a little bit to yourself. And there's a lot of mystery around you. I think this is why people are so curious, because you're not feeling the need anymore to tell everyone everything. That's one of the lessons I feel like y'all learned during this dark night of the soul, is to kind of work in silence. So when people are like, so wait, how did you make this money? You're like, oh, I just have a business. What kind of business? Oh, it's just a side thing. It's small. I don't want to get too into it. Let's just, you know, like, you guys know how to kind of downplay or whatever. And people notice that you have boundaries. They know that you guys are not necessarily the one to mess with. I'm not saying people won't try to push, because dysfunctional people always will, but they kind of notice like they stopped responding to my text last time when I kept asking them if I could borrow money. So I don't know, maybe I won't try that again. Or yeah, I kept trying to, you know, pester them about like their ex-boyfriend at the party and like how did they break up and what happened, and they really wouldn't tell me anything, and then they made an excuse and left the party. And like, so you guys just have like boundaries up, and I feel like people notice it. At the same time, with High Lady of Love and Compassion, you do come off as very kind, compassionate, and sweet. So you have a really lovely balance between being kind of tough in the right ways, but also being kind, which again could feed into this karma, reaping what you sow energy that I was mentioning. Because I'm like, why are they getting, I keep hearing God's favorite in my mind, which of course God doesn't pick favorites, but I mean, some people are definitely higher up on the list than others based on a lot of times usually karma and their behavior. So, you know, if you're out there like kicking puppies, I gotta be honest, God is probably not going to give you your manifestations, because what the heck are you doing? And you guys are doing the opposite. You guys are very sweet, very kind. You have a real abundance of karma, honestly. I'm seeing like a pile of gold, which could be your actual financial status with all these cards, but I also feel like that is I feel like the spirit is showing me that with regard to your karma. Like, even before you came into the money, you already had this accumulation of super positive karma, and that's what led to the money. Maybe people didn't see it at the time, because a lot of people, they need to see like the actual physical representation of it. they need to see the cash, they need to see the bank account, they need to see the designer clothing or whatever it is before they get it. They don't get it when it's like the early stages and it hasn't led to that, but that's the trajectory. But y'all were always on that trajectory because y'all are nice people, is what I'm hearing. And this is something people do pick up and respect about you, is that you guys are sweethearts and you guys genuinely are compassionate. And when something happens, you genuinely get emotional. You genuinely are like, when you see someone who is going through a hard time or read a news story that's sad about someone who went through something, you get upset. You're like, how can I help? Can I donate to the GoFundMe? Can I, or maybe if you're not at that point financially yet, you will be. And this is another reason why Spirit likes to bless people like this, is because they know that y'all will pay it forward and that you're not just going to take your money and hoard it and buy a private island that no one else can use. I mean, maybe you might do that if you have enough extra disposable income, but you're going to be, doing charitable stuff, trying to help people, trying to help homeless people or give money to people who are having a rough time. You genuinely have a compassionate heart. And I feel like y'all need to realize that, because not everyone has that. A lot of people are very selfish, and y'all are compassionate and kind. And this is one of the reasons you're having this payoff, is because you guys see others in almost like a Jesus-like way. And of course, if you have a different religion, that's totally fine. But regardless of whatever anyone's religion is, they have to acknowledge that Jesus and the values he taught, I'm a Christian, but even if you believe or think of Jesus as a prophet or a spiritual leader, you have to realize that his views of, forgiving people and treating others as you do yourself and turning the other cheek and all of that is high spiritual knowledge. So, I'm not trying to push anyone to change their religion at all. I totally respect all different religions, but I'm just saying, in terms of the spiritual values here, yeah, like there is a compassionate, kind, forgiving vibe, which is a big spiritual truth. And yeah, so regardless of, whatever religion you are, totally cool. Just talking about the values here. And you guys have a lot of compassion and kindness in your hearts and a lot of sweetness. And that's one of the reasons it pays off. So we got Night Song, Hidden Talents, Invisibility, Authenticity, and Death. The Eternal Cycle belongs here. So y'all have been through like deaths, which the Death card in tarot is a card about regeneration and about endings and about your old identity ending. And I feel like y'all have been through that. Y'all have been through hard times when people thought you were down and out. I feel like almost some of y'all like change your look. Like when you went through some of these times, you like cut your hair, or you changed it drastically, or you totally changed your style and your makeup or something, and people noticed and they were almost like, oh my God, this person's going through a lot. Like, look at their hair, it looks horrible, or something like that. But you guys came back from the dead like a phoenix, so strong. You guys face these endings in life, because that's what the Death card is it's an ending that needs to happen. And you guys have always intuitively understood that. You guys have a lot of spiritual knowledge, because I feel like a lot of people that don't know these spiritual truths and are just going through these times would panic and flip out. And maybe this is what your guide's talking about when they showed me the image of someone just diving in head first and just going for it, is you guys understood on a very deep level that this was necessary, and you welcomed the changes, as painful as they were, even before you probably knew fully what was going on, because we do kind of forget a lot of spiritual knowledge when we come to this planet, and that's on purpose, so that we'll really learn the lessons kind of fresh and intensely. Because if we just knew like all things were going to pass, then we wouldn't fully get the experience of it. So, but I feel like you guys have incarnated a lot on this planet and have had a lot of, you guys, I feel like, are a high spiritual being. Like you guys have a lot of spiritual knowledge, even though, like I said, it's a complicated concept, but you forget a lot of knowledge when you come to this planet. But your kind of soul DNA, unconscious part of yourself, remembers this stuff. And I feel like that's one of the reasons you guys were so unscared when all of this went down, is like you understand that every death is a rebirth that is better. Every death is that caterpillar going into the little cocoon and emerging as a butterfly. So every time you get more beautiful, the more endings you go through and the more you embrace it. And I'm seeing someone just with open arms, welcoming in the change, welcoming in the endings, being excited for it. And I feel like your guides are like, whoa, like it's almost like they're cheering you on from the sides. And I'm seeing something like someone who is a fan goes to cheer on their favorite football player, and they know they're good, but they're not prepared for like when they actually are there and I know nothing about football, so excuse me if I butcher all the terms, but they, do a touchdown and they do it in such an amazing way. Like it's an amazing play, like, 2 seconds on the clock or something, and they make the touchdown, and it's like they're blown away, like, oh my God, I was expecting this person to do well, but they did amazing. They did so good. Like you guys, I feel like Spirit is saying y'all pass these tests with flying colors. You did so good. They can't even believe it. And so this is one of the reasons why you guys have been blessed in the time since, or will be blessed, is because you guys just leaned in, went for it, and accepted all your knocks. You just kind of accepted the punches from life. And that's when you just level up so much from that. So, yeah. And you guys have a lot of hidden talents. I feel like people see that, like they see you as someone who's good at a lot of stuff. Like you guys, like I mentioned this earlier, you guys are blessed in multiple ways, is what I'm getting. So you guys are hard workers and good and smart at kind of business stuff. But you're also, I feel like a lot of you guys are attractive. As I mentioned earlier, I feel like a lot of people have crushes on you, or you're charismatic or something. Like y'all have a lot going on. You guys are like, a triple threat is what they call it in like entertainment, when someone can sing, dance, and act. Um, or it's almost like I'm seeing Rihanna, how she and Rihanna's a Pisces. Maybe some of you guys are Pisces. But and she has Aries placements really strong as well, a ton of Aries, so maybe Aries as well, but any sign could fit into this. But she has like that $1 billion business, literally $1 billion business that she like runs. I think she is a billionaire, but I'm not quite sure. But like, so she's super business minded, really good at fashion before she ever turned that into a successful business, because you can be good at fashion but not be a good businesswoman who manages to make money from it. But she's good at fashion. She has an eye for design. Even before she was designing, she just picked out her outfits so well. And then she monetized it, and she's obviously a really great singer, and obviously she's super attractive and has this kind of energy she exudes that so many people have a crush on her. So that's what I'm seeing, is someone that just like is on point in multiple ways, and people see this, and that's why they're kind of like baffled, like how do they do it, or why did they get so lucky, or how did they have all this. So yeah, and also you guys are super authentic, and this is really coming through. Like I said, you guys aren't the type to be desperate for people to like you and say too much at a party because you're desperately hoping that they hang out with you. And so you're like, oh yeah, well, I threw up all over my boyfriend when, yeah, 6 months ago he broke up with me, and then yeah, so I was so embarrassed. But anyway, I ended up having to like change all my clothes, and it was so, and like, when someone just says TMI and the person's kind of like nodding and thinking like, this is way too much information to share. I have no judgment when someone says too much information, but I just feel like you guys have a kind of withholding quality, and you're not trying to get everyone to like you or love you or be obsessed with you. It just naturally happens. You exude like, this is me, take it or leave it. I don't really care. If you don't like me, there's the door. If you don't like it, lump it. You guys just are very strongly rooted in your own identity, probably because you've been through so much. You've had people dislike you. You've had people not want to be friends with you, so you don't really care. You're like, okay, join the line of people that don't like me, but it's not really something I'm interested in. And so that authenticity, like, people really respect that. So we also got Spirit Guardian of Summer Expansion, Spirit Guardian of Winter, Retreat, and Standing Stones Passage. Interesting, I didn't notice this, but 2 Spirit Guardian cards. And like I was saying earlier, you guys have a lot of spirit guides and like spiritual members of your team. I do feel like I'm getting ancestors, I'm getting angels, I'm getting spirit guides, you got a whole crowd around you helping you guys out at all times. And so expansion talks, surprise, surprise, yet again, about money and about abundance and wealth, and you guys being these master manifestors that we've seen so much in this reading. So everyone is noticing this about y'all in particular, but also with Retreat, like I was saying, I feel like you guys are that type that if you don't like a situation, you'll leave, you'll bounce. And people know this about you, so it's like I feel like it's almost like they feel a need to make everything nice for you, kind of. Like, it's like they feel the need to really, like, if they invite you to a party and you walk in, they're gonna kind of rush over and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so the drinks are over there." Like, way more than they would with other people because they want your attendance. Because again, there's like a scarcity to you guys, or a authenticity. Like, you're not gonna hang out and tolerate someone you don't like. You're not gonna go on dates with someone you're not interested in. You're not gonna hang out with someone you're not vibing with. So people know they kind of have to come correct around you, and they are going to bring out their best because they do kind of crave your approval a little bit. A lot of people do, because you guys are seen as being so on point, and so the Empress. And the Empress is not someone who will tolerate bad behavior or tolerate like, "Oh, well, we kind of did it halfway, but yeah, it's like it's not quite there, but anyway, hopefully it's good enough for you." Like, the Empress is like, "Okay, it's definitely not. Peace. Bye, I'm leaving." So that's your energy, is like, you guys will leave if you're not feeling it. I feel like you guys will ghost, which is definitely Pisces energy, which we're getting here. But there's other signs in the astrology zodiac who will ghost as well. So again, it could be multiple signs in this, but yeah, you guys just are someone that if it's not working for you, if it's not in alignment with you, you know enough to just leave, and you're not going to tolerate less than you deserve. So there's almost like a scarcity to your attention and your energy. Kind of like what I'm hearing is like how diamonds, diamonds are a crystal. Like, these, like selenite or anything else, like they're a crystal that grows in the ground, and they're certainly super beautiful. But the reason why they're so expensive is because they very strictly control the mining of diamonds, and it's also really unethical, but that's a different subject. But they basically control the quantities that get released every year. So like, what would be, maybe the same cost as this, I don't know exactly, but is now like thousands and hundreds of thousands for a diamond that big, because they control the amounts. That's because that's what scarcity does. And because you guys are very selective with your energy, there's a scarcity around it. So people want you to go to their party, want to be around you. And again, with standing stones, I feel like you guys went through these spiritual passages. You have a lot of spiritual wisdom. Even if y'all are like young and cute, which I feel like a lot of you guys are, I gotta be honest, you guys are like the energy of like an old man or an old woman, in like the best way, like a very wise old woman or a very wise old man that's been around the block, because spiritually that's like your age. Y'all have a lot of wisdom, and people can tell that you guys are extremely advanced, even if they don't have the words to put it in, and they're not necessarily tuned into spirituality, or they might not recognize what is this energy, and they don't know, but they can just tell. There's like a gravitas about you. Like, I used to live in LA, and a lot of times, like, if like a celebrity walked in, you wouldn't necessarily know who they were, but you could just tell from the way everyone else was reacting and the energy around them, like, "Oh, that must be someone, I guess," you know? And you're like, "I don't know who that is," but clearly with the way everyone's staring at that person, they are. So that's kind of what I'm getting, is like, y'all are like a spiritual celebrity or something. Like, people can just tell that you guys have so much experience, knowledge, deep understanding, and your guides and your team are so close with you and put you in such high regard. So there's just like a lot of respect surrounding you, and a lot of regard that everyone has for you. So I feel like you guys, yeah, you guys are like the OGs of the piles. Like, you guys have just been through so much. You're kind of tough as nails at this point, but you've also kept that beautiful heart. And that's one of the reasons why you have such great karma, and why you've been blessed with so much. And people, they don't understand it, but they can see it going on. They know what it is, even if they don't have the words for it. They know that you guys are super kind. They know that you guys are like on another level than other people. Like, you figured out the game of life, kind of a thing. And you guys, you're like unbeatable. Like, people might try to bring you down, but there's just no way, because y'all have been through so much that you guys are like I said, tough as nails. You're like that old grizzled guy that's like an old bounty hunter that's like multiple people have tried to get him, but he's still standing. And it's like, you guys are that that person that like spiritually has big muscles and has been around the block and has a lot of stories to tell. So yeah, what a beautiful energy for you guys. Pile one, thank you for letting me tune into it. Let me know in the comments if it resonates and give it a big thumbs up. And also, if you want to check out my Patreon, that's where I post additional videos. So check out my link in bio for that. And also, I will be posting videos over here very soon as well. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to see those. I'm sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey, pile two. So if you guys picked this bagel, this is going to be your reading. It looks super delicious. I think it has maybe salt or some flour crusted on the top. I'm not sure what else that would be, but it looks really good. I love bagels, or I did back before I was gluten-free. They're super good on like Saturday or Sunday morning with I like mine with salmon and cream cheese. But anyway, so let's get into your cards, guys. We got the Emperor, the Fool, the Justice card, Page of Wands, Five of Wands, the Sun, and the Four of Wands. So for you guys, I'm getting that you guys have a very decisive quality to you with the Emperor and Justice coming out. You guys are not the one that I feel like people would mess with. And I feel like you guys have strong boundaries and people really respect this about you. I also feel like people assume that you guys would be really good in an argument with the Five of Wands. You're not afraid of conflict. You're not a wimp at all. You guys are very strong-minded. You're not the type to be like, well, I don't know if I want to say that. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe if I say that, they'll be offended. You're like, I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to say how I feel. And there's a quality about you that you're not kind of like fake and trying to get everyone to like you and desperate for feedback or for, you know, people to be your friend. You are fine being kind of on your own. And I feel like people really can tell this energy and they really respect that about you. I also feel like there's a lot of fire sign energy coming through here with so many wand cards and with the sun as well, which relates to Leo. So some of you guys may be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, but it seems like you guys are not afraid. Like you guys just are coming through with a very brave energy, to be honest. Like, and also that you guys are highly intelligent with justice. I feel like you guys are that person that someone may try to get in an argument with you, and then like halfway through the argument they're like, oh my gosh, what the heck did I do? Like this person is not backing down, and this person is a really good arguer, and they're really smart. And yeah, like I feel like you guys also, with the Four of Wands, you conduct yourself in a way in public that a lot of people respect. Like you're not out there acting a fool, you're not making a clown of yourself. And I feel like a lot of you guys are also very efficient, possibly really good at like responding to emails, which I'm not the best at. If you guys sent me an email, I will be responding, but you guys have a big decisiveness to you. Like you're not one to just sit around and think and be like, well, I guess I should do this. Well, I have this idea, but I don't know. And just kind of waste the day away or not be serious about something. Like if you decide to do it, you're doing it, and that's that. And I feel like people really respect, like I said, this decisiveness you have, that you guys kind of are always ready to start something new, to try something new. With the Fool coming in, you guys, when you decide on something, I feel like a lot of you guys act quickly and you act strongly with a lot of strength and power behind it. So again, people respect this power coming from you guys, and the Emperor is such a powerful card. So even if you're not at a high status yet, I feel like people see you as that way. Like even if you're not the boss, they see you as that. You know, even if you're working at the front of like a fast food restaurant at the lowest position, I don't know what the hierarchy is like, but you know, like if you're just checking people's orders, they get a vibe from you of like, is that the manager, or did they like, they just seem like, you just seem like you're someone who kind of knows what they're doing and has a natural authoritative quality to you, you know, that people just wouldn't question you as much, I feel like, as other people. I think I have the opposite of this quality because I feel like people question me all the time. But, you know, God bless. I'm a little jealous, but that's okay. So we got First Breath, Beginner's Mind, Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine, many masks, the authentic self, and eyes of the eagle rising above the fray. So, yeah, you guys just seem kind of above it all, but not in like, oh, they're a snob and they think they're better than everyone and they're not better than anyone kind of way, but just like more mature almost. Like, I feel like you're not the type to get bogged down with silly stuff. You have a really good perspective. I feel like a lot of you guys are very logical minded and kind of, yeah, like authoritative. Like, I feel like you almost have strong opinions about something, and if it's not working for you, you're not going to do it. Like if you don't like a certain food, you're not going to fake smile and be like, it's I love olives, yay, because you're just trying to be nice. You're going to be like, I don't eat olives, yeah, sorry, I hate them. And like, you're not necessarily going to lose sleep if someone gets offended or if someone is upset. And I feel like this is a really strong quality that a lot of people take a lifetime to learn to like assert themselves, and that they're allowed to have opinions and stuff. But I feel like you guys figured it out early, and you guys know how to set really strong boundaries with people, and kind of, I feel like some people feel the need to kind of earn their place in your life. Like at first they might be a little intimidated by you guys because you guys may come off as someone that's like even not the friendliest, or like you're really close to your friends but you're not really that open to people, and it's almost like, yeah, people feel like they need to earn your attention. And we got the divine feminine, and I feel like there is a feminine aspect. Some of you guys are very feminine in this, and it's funny because the divine feminine's role is to let people come to them. So like the masculine's role is to actually go and make someone like them or to achieve something and go out in the world. The feminine's role in the divine masculine feminine is to just kind of wait and be receptive. And I feel like you guys have that figured out, because you're not going to do a song and dance for someone to make them like you. You kind of sit like the empress or like the emperor back on your chair and like wait for them to appeal to you. You wait for them to charm you. You're not going to go out of your way and try desperately to get someone's attention or try to make them like you. You're very strong in your power and in your sense of self, and that's why you guys have authentic self, because you're not that person also who will try on 50 different identities, and when you look back through your photos you're like, okay, I wore that, oh my god, I can't believe I went through a phase where I did that, oh my word. Like, you probably have your style figured out and you're like, this is how I dress, this is what I like. And if you don't like it, or if people are talking about like, oh, this is a trend, this is out, this is in, you're like, okay, I don't care. It's not interesting to me. I'm not going to change. This is what I like to do. So I feel like you have this really deep sense of self, and people really almost like want to learn from you about this. Like, how are they so confident? How are they so rooted in their own identity? And honestly, you guys honor yourselves really well. I feel like you guys, so many people kind of will dishonor themselves in the sense of like constantly trying to get everyone else's approval, and rather than listening to their own voice or of what they really like, they're super focused on how is someone else going to feel about this? Will they think it's cool? Will they think it's cringe? Will they think it's smart? Will they think it's dumb? You guys just kind of do what you want to do, and if people don't like it, they can lump it. And yeah, you guys are very strong with your own boundaries and with knowing your own self-worth. And I also feel like we got the Fool and then we got beginner's mind coming through. So I feel like you guys a lot of times have a lot of different interests. I'm hearing from spirit that you guys are highly intelligent. So you might be interested in like a lot of different, I'm hearing subgenres. I don't know what that means, but like different fields, different types of like media or content or interests. Like, I feel like you guys are that type that is constantly stumbling across like a new podcast or a new TV show or something that, and there's always like an intellectual component. Like, I feel like you guys are deep learners. Like, I feel like you are that type that's honestly a little bit ahead of the crowd, where if there's like a new TV show coming out that is everyone's going to be talking about in like a month, you're already watching it. Or if there's a new band that everyone knows, or if there's a new like documentary, you guys, I feel like, really keep on top of these things and are early adapters is what I'm hearing. So like in the cycle of a trend, there's like the early adapters and then the general public and then the stragglers. Like Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book about this that was really interesting. I forget the name of which book this was of his, but it's so interesting. And I think it was The Tipping Point. I think that was the one. And he talks about how the early adapters are the most influential because people notice they have a pattern of this. They notice that the, early adapter is like, oh, have you heard about this style of shoe brand? And a lot of people are going to be like, the first time it happens, like, no. And they don't really care. But then they suddenly notice that shoe brand everywhere in like 7 months or a year. And suddenly they're like, huh, didn't Julia mention that to me like 7 months ago? And then it happens again. And then it happens again. And to the point where it's like, anytime you mention anything, people are going to listen and they're going to be like, wait, what did you say that name was? Let me jot it down and let me look that up right now, because they realize that your taste is ahead of the crowd. So I feel like you guys have good taste, or you stay very plugged into certain things. And yeah, people notice this about you. As I feel like this is because you guys have such an active mind that you're constantly kind of learning, changing. You guys might have a very prominent Mercury in your chart. So Mercury rules over Virgo and it also rules over Gemini, but you could also have a prominently aspected Mercury in, conjunct your sun, conjunct your ascendant, or aspecting them, trine, or even in opposition or something. But yeah, I feel like you guys have a strong Mercury. You also might have a Mercury Mars aspect, because I feel like you guys are good arguers, and this is coming through with the Five of Wands. Is like, you're not the person people want to get entangled with in an argument, because y'all will absolutely be able to say exactly what you want. Maybe you have a Mars Mercury conjunction or something, but it seems like you guys you're very well spoken. I almost feel like you guys think your words through before you speak. And this is almost another reason why people are a little intimidated by you, is because I feel like you'll pause for a moment kind of and collect your thoughts. You're not that person who's always blurting everything out and desperately hoping people like you. So yeah, there's an intimidation coming through that a lot of people feel to you, but would probably never admit towards you. Yeah, so we also got the Eagle King, the big picture angelic help, the Camel Boy, small steps asking for help, the Hawk Prince, and the Ringmaster of Scrutiny. So here we have 3 birds coming out. So I'm seriously wondering if y'all have a connection to birds, or to eagles specifically, and hawks, and kind of those birds of prey, because I mean, I didn't know there were so many eagle cards in my deck. I didn't know I had so many birds of prey. So I feel like there's something about that. And you guys kind of are like a bird of prey. Not in a nasty way, but in like, that eagle is like above everything. And that's what this is about, is like it's sailing above the land. And if it decides to swoop up down on you, if you're like a mouse or something, like it's over. There's no chance. And that's what I'm feeling, is like, yeah, I feel like people get into arguments with you, underestimating you, and you put them in their place and set them straight. And because you guys are super smart and highly intelligent, you know exactly what to say. You might have a very good vocabulary. I mean, I'm kind of intimidated giving this reading. Like, I'm like, wow, these people seem really smart. So, but yeah, you guys, yeah, you intimidate a lot of people, and I feel like you're good at seeing the big picture and things. Um you guys are good at summing up information. I feel like you guys might be involved in professions where you might be like, I don't know, a consultant, or some kind of a manager, or you're good at all the intellectual processes. Like, I'm surprised we didn't get more sword cards, because I'm really getting that you guys are highly intelligent, but you also have this fire energy that you bring into it, where you come in full force. You're not too many sword cards, and too much air energy can be a little bit lost in their head and a little bit ungrounded from reality, a little bit too like head in the clouds. And you guys are not that way at all. You have a great combination of intelligence while being very down to earth and rooted on this planet. And I feel like a lot of you guys are very organized, or type A, and you're not that person that has an inbox that's like overflowing out of control. That would be me. But you guys are good at like managing your life and figuring things out. And honestly, as someone who is not naturally that way, I can't say enough how much of a skill that is. I think so many times when people are good in a certain area, they just overlook it, like, well, isn't everyone that way, or isn't that normal? And it's like, no, I'm so bad at like being on top of my emails and stuff. And I wish I was the way of being like so organized and making like my files, and I don't know, just like doing everything right on time, and I feel like you guys are so good at that. Like, I feel like you guys are the one to go to if they needed help with their taxes or if they needed help figuring something out. You guys just do this really effortlessly, and I feel like there's not enough time that you give yourself that feedback of like how amazing that is and how many people would love to have that as a quality. um yeah, I feel like your life is just really on point. You're probably going to be very financially successful as a result of this because you guys know how to hustle and you know how to grind, and people see that about you. I feel like you might have a lot of people around you asking you for help with different things, asking you to help figure out stuff, especially like I feel like you guys would be good at technology or something like that. But you have a very clear vision and you're detail oriented. You're good at sorting things out. And you can see this guy is surrounded by books. And to me, he just seems like highly intelligent, even though his look is a little weird. So I don't know about the flowing hair with the beard. But anyway, I feel like he seems highly intelligent. He's reading in his study, and that's how you guys are. I feel like you guys just get a lot of information. You have a lot of knowledge of different areas. So we also got owl, another bird of kind of prey. I think owls like eat mice and stuff. And then we got trick or treat, mischief, and play, the witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds. And you guys kind of have witch energy, to be honest. You guys, maybe you don't do magic or anything, but I feel like just naturally you have this power about you. It's kind of a feminine power, although my masculines, you might just take out the feminine aspect of that, and that's totally cool. But yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys, you come across as powerful, and you might even have, I feel like sometimes, honestly, what I'm hearing is like when you guys get mad at people, you might naturally kind of hex them. You might naturally kind of have like this strength to you where you, when you're mad and your energy is directed at someone, it comes through very powerful. You guys are extremely powerful, is what I'm getting. Um, yeah, you have a natural power to you, and we did get the sun card. So um there's just a strength within you that when you decide on something in either direction, it's going to happen. So even if you're mad at someone and you're sending them kind of a bad vibe mentally, it's coming through very strongly. It's coming through very powerfully. And maybe that's why people feel a little intimidated by you, a little scared of you, is because they kind of intuitively know this, like, oh, I don't want to get on this person's bad side. I also feel like, again, wise seeing, wise action, this wisdom is coming through super strong for you guys. And with trick or treat, mischief, and play, I feel like you guys can be really funny and witty. And there's almost this side of you that your friends see where you guys are like hilarious, and you might send people memes, or you might follow different shows that are really funny, or be very into like comedy and stuff. And I feel like this is not a side of you that everyone gets to see, but they may sense it on a deep level. But I feel like the people close to you, they really love this side of you, and they really admire your sense of humor. Like, you know, I'm not surprised because this is another aspect of Mercury, is like being really witty. And a lot of you guys, you just have a humorous way of looking at things, and when you make a joke, it like lands, it hits. Like, honestly, I'm feeling like some of you guys could be professional comedians, because not like actually, but if you chose to do that, although maybe some of you are. But I feel like you guys just, you have this way of looking at the world that is reminding me of like Chris Rock, um or I don't know, Sarah Silverman or something, where you see the absurdity of things. You see like the clown-like behavior some people are up to, and you just have a really funny way of putting that into words, and you have a lot of discernment. So yeah, because you guys never engage in like clown-like behavior, so you have a real eye for it. Like, you're like, why is this person behaving so strangely? And I feel like the people around you, you can honestly just make them laugh so hard with your observations, with the things you send them, and they just get a great laugh out of your presence in their life. And it really adds a lot of levity to their life. So they're grateful to be included on your group texts or on your memes that you tag them in, or whatever this is. But yeah, I feel like you guys have a kind of hidden side to you that's really funny, really amusing, and the people around you really respect that about you and admire it. So we also got unicorn, purity, forest temple, enlightenment, dragon, power, and fire spirit energy. So more fire energy coming through. So again, that's Sag, Leo, and Aries. and dragon power. Maybe some of you guys were also born in the year of the dragon or something like that, as well as maybe the year of the horse. But I'm definitely, the dragon is the most powerful in the Chinese zodiac, and I'm definitely feeling so much power coming from you guys. And we did get power on that card. So again, people just really respect your power, the strength. You guys might even be physically strong, but I feel like mentally and emotionally, you're very strong. And I'm hearing that some of you guys are like a rock for the people in your lives. Like things may happen to other people that would like, they'd be crying, and maybe even it might have happened to you, and you're like reassuring and comforting the people around you. You guys end up being almost like a guide stone for the people around you, this guiding light that I feel like a lot of people rely on you. Some of you guys may have even grown up early, I feel, or played this role with your parents where you were the ones kind of parenting them, reassuring them, because it just seems like you guys have been in this energy a long time and you're very naturally good at it. Maybe this is even something you guys did in past lives. You were some kind of a guide for people or some kind of an authority, like a medicine woman or a spiritual leader or a, I don't know, like a leader, like some kind of the leader, whether you were the chief or the president or the head of some group. It just seems like you guys have this natural authority and kind of gravitas around you. Like when you say something, I feel like people really respect it. You're not that kind of person that people are going to be constantly second guessing and be like, where did you hear that? Wait a minute. What kind of sources? Wait, what? Like you can say it and they're just like, oh, okay. Well, they seem like they know what they're talking about. So, yeah, you have a natural authority about you. And I feel like this is a real bonus for you in your career because you're that person that people kind of trust you when you come out. If you were to like be dealing with a client and you quoted them an amount for a bill, they're not going to start second guessing and asking like for a bunch of documentation and being like, well, this doesn't make sense. They're going to be like, okay, that makes sense because this person just seems trustworthy. They seem like they know what they're talking about. And they seem enlightened. Some of you guys may have gone through a lot of spiritual work or done a lot of hard lessons and been through it in life, but you seem very enlightened and you seem like you just know a lot about a lot of different stuff. And you also have a natural energy towards you. So I'm not saying you guys won't need coffee or won't need, a pick me up once in a while, but it just seems like you guys deal with a lot of your life with a lot of energy, with a lot of enthusiasm. You just head into it. You don't need to, you're not the type of person to like mope around for absolute days and never do anything and be like all up in your feelings. You are not like, because, I love water signs. I am a water sign, but that's kind of a little water sign energy, the dark side of water signs. And y'all definitely don't have that. You are super ready to take on the world. You're not the type to be super self-indulgent or feel sorry for yourself for long and just kind of move on to the next and keep it moving and keep it hustling. This is definitely hustler energy. I feel like some of you guys might have side hustles or side businesses, or you're trying to find or constantly finding new ways to make money, but it's definitely go-getter energy. I honestly just keep getting you guys would make an ideal employee or manager or head of a company, but you just do so well in the business industry or in the fields that we kind of work in nowadays. Like you guys just have an eye for detail. You're organized. When you say something, you actually do it. Your word is your bond. You're not a flake. You're not someone that gets overwhelmed and is like, I'm sorry, I had to take a personal day. I was feeling off. Like, which is fine. Like, I mean, sometimes that is water sign energy and there's a power in that as well. But I feel like y'all are so ideally suited for the kind of workplaces we have today where we really need people to be reliable, dependable, have a lot of strength and be very like a lot of strength, I guess is the word. You guys have that. And I also feel like with purity and grace coming through, you do this without losing your feminine qualities. A lot of times people think the divine feminine is like someone dressed in pink, looking like Barbie, and just, like talking in a very high pitched princess voice. But the divine feminine can be highly intelligent as well, and also very, I'm honestly seeing like Maleficent from the movie, like with Angelina Jolie, not in a bad way, but just like I feel like that's divine feminine energy as well. Divine feminine energy doesn't have to be like a cotton candy cloud and, just Princess Peach or whatever. It can also be that strong feminine that is not going to tolerate your BS anymore and is very discerning, and you really have to earn her attention, because that really is feminine energy. Is you have to earn all the feminines, you have to earn their potential in their life. Masculines are much more kind of open, I feel, or directive. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but I just get that you guys are kind of hard to get, hard to have, and people may want to get to know you or bring you into their life, but you're discerning. You're not just going to accept anyone, and if their energy is off and you get a bad vibe, you're just kind of tamping down on your intuition and trying to make it work. No, if someone doesn't vibe with you, you're on to the next. And I feel like people really get this about you. And maybe this is why so many people are intimidated, is because your self esteem or your liking them is like a hard fought for medal. I'm hearing that phrase. It's so nerdy, I guess, that I've seen this movie enough to know the quotes, but like I loved that movie when I was younger, Pride and Prejudice, and I must have rewatched it so many times. So the 2005 version, and I think it's Mr. Darcy who says, my opinion once lost is lost forever. And that's the vibe I'm getting for you guys. And honestly, it's kind of Pride and Prejudice vibes, because I feel like you guys also seem like Elizabeth Bennet, because she's so smart and discerning, and she's never acting like a clown like the rest of her sisters. And she turned down a proposal from like this super wealthy guy, the equivalent of like a billionaire or whatever he is nowadays, I don't know. And just because she was like, I don't like your attitude. And that's how you guys are. Like, so that's what I mean, in that it can be divine feminine. We think the divine feminine, sometimes people think this, that like it has to be so sweet all the time, but it can also be that feminine that's like, live up to this potential or I'm out. And again, for my masculines in this, you can totally fit into this pile and just take out the feminine energy, but you would just be a masculine that people kind of feel like, wow, this person is intimidating, and that I have to win their approval. So yeah, a beautiful energy for you guys. I feel like you do have a lot of admirers and people just have a ton of respect for you guys. So I really hope that helped you guys. If it resonated, please let me know in the comments. I love hearing your thoughts and your stories, and also give it a big thumbs up, and I will be back soon for another reading. Also, if you want to check out my Patreon, a link is in my bio, so you can go there to see more of my readings. I'm sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey, pile three. So if you guys picked this delicious little roll, this is going to be your reading. I don't know what this is on top. It could be salt or maybe flour particles. I don't know. But it looks so good. I don't eat gluten now, but back in the days when I did, I would love to eat this with some butter. Oh my gosh, like before dinner at a restaurant or something. It just looks so good. So let's get right into your cards, guys. We got Two of Wands, Knight of Wands, Nine of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor, Temperance, and the Lovers. So what's coming through for you guys right away with Temperance is, I feel like a lot of you guys are very non-judgmental. The energy I'm picking up on is, I feel like you guys are that type of person that people can tell you anything. It's like you have a really good head on your shoulders, but you're also open to anything. I feel like a lot of you guys are also very attractive to people, with so many wand cards coming through, and the Lovers and the Knight of Wands. Like, I feel like you probably have a lot of admirers. And what I'm getting is people are drawn to you romantically, and people notice that. So like the people who are drawn to you romantically notice that, and then the observers who see how many like suitors you guys have. And I'm feeling or hearing that like you guys get so much romantic interest. One, you're attractive, that's for sure, but also because you guys you're very open to people. Your energy comes across as very gentle, kind of creative. Like, you're not that type of person that someone could tell you something and you're going to be like, oh my God. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Like, you're going to be like, oh, really? Oh, well, I never thought of that. Or like, that's a great idea. Like, you're someone people feel like they can talk to about anything. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why people are so drawn to you. And you might even attract very powerful men with the Emperor coming through for my feminines. You might, or, whatever masculines who are into men, you might be attracting powerful men. I feel like you attract all kinds of people. But and if you're a guy, obviously it can be flipped, or whatever. If you're into women, it can be flipped to you draw in feminines. But I just feel like that's kind of what that card is talking about. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, like, people just they feel almost calm in your presence because you guys have such an open mind and you kind of see the beauty in this world. I feel like you guys get excited by different things. You have a lot of natural enthusiasm and energy with these wand cards coming through. Um, and I feel like for a lot of you guys, this may have manifested into wealth, or possibly you just dress very well, because I feel like a lot of you guys are creative and you just might have a really keen dress sense that people just, yeah, I feel like for a lot of you guys, there's always a card that comes, like this pile that always comes through with like cottagecore, dark academia, that kind of energy. Like, I don't know if that's how y'all dress, but I feel like whatever you guys dress like, there's a lot of people that admire it, and you put your styles together in a really beautiful way. Even if it just doesn't fit into one of those groups, I feel like you guys have a really great sense of style. I mean, like, look at this fit, this Queen of Pentacles is wearing. Like, I just feel like I love the green and the purple. She just is looking good. And I feel like you guys know how to put an outfit together, and you come off as someone who has expensive taste, even if you're buying it from like Shine. I've said this before, but if you're wearing Shine, people assume it's Chanel with your vibe. Like, you guys know how to put things together. And I do feel like some of you guys may collect more expensive stuff, or you really do wear like nice stuff, or maybe you go thrift store shopping or something. Obviously, it's a general reading, so I don't know everyone's financial status, but people are perceiving you as someone who has money and who has really good taste. So I feel like you attract a lot of admirers, a lot of attention. That is like, people find you very attractive. I want to keep everything PG for YouTube, so I don't want to go too much into it, but we did get Wands cards, which really talk, one of the things about is sexuality. So a lot of people, have crushes on you and desire you. Yeah, I have an 18 plus reading on my Patreon if you want to get more into what those fantasies may be, but I can't say too much on YouTube. But I do feel like you have a lot of admirers, and that's kind of all I can talk about. So other cards we got are Feast of Plenty, Choices and Their Consequences, Dances on One Foot, Balancing Act, Deep Diver, Diving into a Task, Crown Games, Right Use of Power, and Drifter, Seeking Life as It Comes. So I feel like what I'm getting right now, a download that you guys, some people assume you guys were born into a really wealthy family or spoiled, or like, and they kind of admire this about you. Like, it's like you guys might have really impeccable manners or something, or you know how to act in social situations. You have a grace and dignity about you. Like, you just have, I also feel like some of you guys are graceful. I'm seeing someone's hands moving in like a graceful way. Like, the way you move your muscles and your body and the way you hold yourself, your posture is just graceful. People might even be like, was that person, did they go to a finishing school, or did they like come from like a really high end family? Were they part of royalty or something? Or like, was their parents or their ancestral line like royal back in the day or something? Or did their parents have a lot of money? But it's like, people just assume that you like went to private school and you had everything paid for. And I'm hearing from spirit, it's not true for all of you. For some of you it is, but for others of you, like, no, you guys have this natural grace and dignity, and you comport yourselves very well. There's like a loveliness about you. Like, that's what I'm hearing, is like lovely. And I'm seeing the Sarah Jessica Parker perfume, lovely. And it's like, I feel like you guys, you might smell really good too. I feel like you guys take care of yourselves, and there's just this grace and dignity about you. And this is why maybe so many people are attracted to you, is like, I feel like you guys just don't do like things that some people would honestly find a turnoff, like, chewing with your mouth open really wide, or like sitting in a really ungraceful way. I'm not trying to comfort anyone who does those things like at all, or, you know, be like snobbish about any of that, but I just feel like what I'm hearing from spirit is y'all are so graceful and have impeccable manners, and people admire this about you, and they almost fill in the blanks in their mind of like, oh, so they must have grown up with a ton of money. They must know exactly how to eat caviar, and they've probably been to Europe several times, and they probably, or maybe they're European background, or I don't know, they just assume that there's something about you that comes off as like sophisticated and kind of like full of really good manners, and like you guys have been to really fancy dinner parties, and you have this background that people just kind of make up behind the scenes for you. I don't know what that weird noise is in the background. Oh, it's a train. Wow, that's really bizarre because it's like super far away. But you know what? It's funny because I was saying maybe you guys went to Europe or something, and I'm thinking maybe you guys come off as very well traveled. That's so strange that that train is so far away out my window and it's making that much noise. But anyway, I hope you guys can't hear it too much. But I feel like you guys come off as really well traveled. As I'm saying that, that comes off. You come off as someone who has like explored the world or tried all different kinds of cuisines or have this very sophisticated, very educated type of background. And people just like I feel like you're that person that no one would be afraid to like, oh, I don't want to bring them home to my parents or I don't want to invite them to my family because they'll kind of make a fool of me or they'll do something kind of rude and it'll be embarrassing or they won't know how to conduct themselves. Like you're that person that people feel comfortable inviting you to any event no matter how fancy, even if it's a gala or a ball or no matter how high end it is, even if it's like the top of the top like I don't know, Met Gala or something, they would feel comfortable inviting you because you guys know how to conduct yourselves and you're very graceful. I'm honestly, I keep seeing Meghan Markle and I know like definitely she's like controversial with a lot of people. So I'm not like saying anything else other than I feel like she has a lot of natural grace with how she like holds her arms and stuff, you know, and just like her body language comes off as graceful. And so I'm not trying to like I know a lot of people really dislike her, totally valid. I'm not saying anything in either direction, but I just feel like she has a lot of natural grace and that's kind of what I'm seeing is someone who like knows how to conduct themselves. Also, you know, you could sub in Kate Middleton if you don't like Meghan, totally fine, but there's like this royalty aspect I keep getting, or, you know, I guess Meghan and Kate are both duchesses. So maybe, you know, like a duchess or a duke or a lady or something like that. I don't know all the different titles, a countess, a baroness, that kind of a thing. Someone that, you know, has a very sophisticated type of lifestyle. So, okay, so we also got dances on one foot. So, like I was saying, I was just kind of channeling. I kind of forgot about the cards, but like this is very like graceful. Like I was saying, I feel like you guys have this natural grace and we got crown games, royalty and deep diver. I feel like yeah, you guys are highly intelligent, good at conversation. You're not that boring person that someone would get sucked into conversation with and you know doesn't know how to volley it back. I honestly think that's one of the big things with being a good party guest or a good, you know, attendee at anything is knowing how to have a polite conversation, knowing how to kind of have that polite tennis back and forth of like, oh, you went to there? Oh, I visited once. Oh, how did you like this? Oh, I loved it. Did you try this? Yes, I did. Blah, blah, blah. What about, have you ever been here? And like just knowing how to, I don't know, flow the conversation well. I feel like you guys are, yeah, you just seem so refined, you guys. And, you know, I feel like with Feast of Plenty, people are just assuming that you have money, whether you do or not. They just assume like, oh, this person came from money or they have a lot of money. And that you guys like leveled up in a way. Like I feel like the manners are just so on point. And with Drifter experiencing life as it comes, again, non-judgmental. You guys, I feel like have probably people telling you stuff that you're like, "Oh my god, okay." Suddenly you want to like tell me all about like your you know the fact that you cheated on your boyfriend or something. Okay, like I don't know you, I just met you, but that's cool. But you guys are honestly non-judgmental, so their secret is probably safe with you. You're not going to spread it around and be like, I can't believe they would say this, that is shameful. You're going to be like, oh, okay, well, let me try to see their perspective. And you're just not judgmental and people know that about you, so they feel very safe in your presence. It's honestly a feeling of safety I'm getting, a feeling like someone could tell you anything and you're going to try to see the best in them. You're going to try to see um, what they were saying. You're going to try to understand where they're coming from. And you know what I'm getting is like I don't even think that noise was from the train, but it's funny because when it happened I looked up and saw the train. So again, I feel like Spirit is just trying to emphasize that you guys come off as super well traveled because I would never usually see that train because it is far. I have a high up apartment, but I just have never noticed it before. So I feel like you seem like someone who's taken a lot of trips and has this very culturally rich background. Like you have tried different things, you've been different places, you have this beautiful tapestry of your life and all the things you've done and you know that you guys have like consumed art and tried different foods, and you just come off as sophisticated. So we also got the Arrow Master, hitting the mark, intention, detachment, the Lady of the Mirror, reflection, non-judgment, the Keeper of the Scales, fairness, balance, the Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, withholding, and two more cards flew out. I didn't do any more. I only did four for the other piles, but I'm going to read them all for you. So we also got the Weaver, synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect, and the cosmos, creativity, vastness. So definitely a strong water energy coming through, and we did get um, some water imagery and stuff, but I feel like, yeah, I'm definitely getting a creative water vibe and also a Libra vibe, and we do have some Libra imagery here, and that makes sense because I feel like water signs and Libra, they're just super non-judgmental, but you could be any sign, but it just seems like you guys try to see the best in people. You're very fair. You're very, what I love about Libras is they're always trying to keep the peace. They're always trying to kind of avoid conflicts and have everyone get along and have everyone come out with a positive outcome and everyone come out feeling good. And I feel like that's what you bring out with people. Like everyone feels like you're on their side and you do your best to understand them. You don't overreact. You don't fly off the handle. You guys have a peacefulness to you and a non-judgmentalness about you. You guys don't come into a situation hot being like, you're wrong and I can't believe you would say that. You really try to understand people and really try to monitor and manage everyone else's emotions so that everyone comes out feeling good, everyone feels respected and happy. And there's kind of an attachment I feel like you guys have. Like I feel like maybe this is another reason why you guys have so many suitors and people into you, is because you're not someone who's like immediately attaching. And I see this in a ton of Libras, which is why I'm getting such Libra energy, is like, or Libra, it could be Libra Venus, Libra Mars, Libra ascendants, lots of Libra placements. But I feel like, Libras can be a little detached. They are an air sign, but they're also ruled by Venus. So they're very flirty, honestly, with everyone. But then the person they flirt with is often like, okay, so when are we going to schedule that date? And a Libra's like, I was just being nice. Like, I didn't really mean it. I'm kind of detached emotionally, but I was being friendly. But yeah, no, we're not going on a date. And I feel like that's how you guys are. And that just makes people go even more crazy for Libras, because people are like, oh my God, like you reeled me in and now I'm invested, but I can't get to you. So it's like they're genuinely hard to get, Libras are. So they're the heartbreakers of the zodiac, in my opinion, the biggest heartbreakers, because they're just so dang charming with all that Venus energy. But, they're an air sign, they are detached. They just want everyone to get along. They're not even trying to be as charming as they are. They just are. And that's the vibe I'm getting from you guys, is like you have a little bit of reserve at times, and that just makes people more into you. The fact that you're not super emotionally hot all the time, you're not giving your all, you're not super invested in a situation. If you don't like it, you'll just kind of walk away gracefully and be like, okay, anyway, on to the next. And so people kind of can't get to you. They can't like make this mark on you that they want to make, because you're protective of yourselves a little bit, but I don't even think it's being protective. I think you just genuinely are a little bit detached, a little bit in your head. And partially this could come from your creativity, because a lot of creative people are like this. Like they're with you, but they're also kind of hanging out on the astral plane. They're also kind of scoping out their next story that they're going to write, or their next painting they're going to make, or their next photograph. So they're listening to you, they're with you, but at the same time, they're kind of like, that would make a great angle. Okay, and if I photographed it from up there, yeah, and I could really enhance the colors, and then I could also do that. So I feel like, and there's this bird flying around right outside my window, and it just looks so kind of light and airy and happy and graceful. And I feel like it's like this tiny, cute bird. And I feel like that's like you guys. You guys just come off as just a really kind of cute, pretty bird with beautiful colors, but also like you don't get bogged down by things. You don't get super obsessed with anything or anyone. You kind of just stay in your lane, stay in your happy energy. And we got generosity, receiving, withholding. So it's interesting because those cards kind of contradict. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, is like you guys are very generous and kind with your energy, but you also have a little bit of like, you're not actually trying to fall in love with everyone. They might fall in love with you, but you're kind of just living your life and, being friendly or whatever. So you kind of have a little bit of hot and coldness that I feel like people are so drawn to. So we also got the lamp, remembrance, skull of light, illumination, skeleton, strength, and werewolf, exploring wildness. So I feel like a lot of people remember you when they meet you. You would be surprised by how many people think of you afterwards and like wonder about you or have you on their mind. You really make an impression on people, and people will meet you and then for the rest of the day be like, wow, that person was really cool, or like, did I get their number? Can I find them on Facebook? Can I find them on Instagram? Like, I feel like a lot of people, you just make a mark on them, partially because you are a little bit elusive. So you are that person that will probably ghost or just randomly leave a party without saying bye to everyone. And, or, someone texts you and you don't respond. And then you're like, oh, sorry, I forgot to respond. I was busy, and like it's not like you're trying to be mean, but you honestly just are kind of like lost in your own world at times, I feel like, because you are also intelligent with Skull of Light illumination. So you're kind of a lot of times I feel like lost in this dream world, which a lot of creative people are like this, a lot of highly intelligent people are like this, where like I said, they got one foot in this reality and one foot on the astral plane, because that's where you get your downloads from spirit that you put into creativity, divine art and stuff. And I feel like you guys, while you're talking to someone and probably being very flirty and charming, you've also kind of got your mind on other things like your creative projects or like whatever you're just turning over in your mind. There's a lot of depth there, maybe even like the book you're reading or something. But yeah, this is why you kind of are very, you have non-attachment. Like you don't overly attach to people and get clingy and get weird, because you are very much still on the astral plane. You have a very dreamy quality to you. I'm also getting kind of manic pixie dream girl vibes, which I know there's certain people that always pick this pile. But yeah, I don't think like over the top, but it definitely is coming through. This might be my pile that always gets the manic pixie dream girl vibe of someone that, because I feel like she's very elusive, she's very hard to pin down, and like a lot of the guys have crushes on her, but she'll just be like, bye, like 500 Days of Summer, she just left him, it wasn't working out, and she was just like, okay, well, I wish you the best. She wasn't trying to be mean to him, but she was like, I'm just not really interested, see ya. And so I feel like you're kind of a heartbreaker, but not on purpose, and people know, even though they may be mad at first, they know this about you. They know that you have this kind soul and sweet heart, so even if they may resent you at first for taking you out of their life, with time, they remember, they look back on you and they're like, I know they didn't mean anything mean by it. I know they're the sweetest soul. They only have good intentions. And I feel like also because you guys have this kind of sweetness to you, and I want to say divine femininity, a lot of people will mistake this for weakness or be like, oh, they're kind of a flake, or they're not that smart. They're kind of a ditz, or they kind of aren't yeah, they're not that strong of a person. They're kind of weak, but they're so wrong. They couldn't be more wrong. You guys are actually very strong, and we got skeleton strength, and you're also highly intelligent. It's funny because I feel like a lot of the people that get stereotyped as being unintelligent are actually super intelligent, kind of like the nutty professor, or like the scattered. I never saw that movie, so maybe that's not the vibe. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Of like a professor who is very scatterbrained and comes off as maybe dumb in like a sense of like people are like, oh, this person's not all there. They're not very smart. They didn't even remember where their keys were. They don't even remember, you know, how to cook. They don't even know how to cook for themselves. They must not be smart. But the reality is they're super smart. And in their mind, they're putting together like complicated chemical formulas. And so that's why they're not as much on this astral plane. They're in their head, they're on the, or in this plane, they're actually in the astral plane and in their head and kind of getting divine downloads. So they're not as focused on like, what kind of a thing am I going to cook for dinner, or where did I put my keys, or where did I put my car, or where did I, where did I leave my purse? They're just kind of, they are really smart, and that's why, but people mistake that as like, oh, this person's yeah, they're not that intimidating, and they don't realize they're not smart enough to get what's going on. So final cards for you guys: Water Spirit, Manifesting Dreams; Spirit Guardian of Autumn, Letting Go; Raven Spirit, Truth; Thicket of Thorns, that's a tongue twister for me, Uncertainty; and Rainbow Waterfall, Miracles. And again, you had another card fly out, so we got Storm Spirit, Chaos. So I feel like, again, we got water energy. You guys really might be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This is strong water energy as well as Libra. So yeah, you guys, I mean, definitely, especially like Pisces, I feel like this is, and definitely it could be the other water signs as well, all water signs, and Libra, but those are the main signs I'm getting, but it could be any, that's just for extra confirmation. But I feel like you guys, you know, what I keep getting is you don't hold too hard onto things. You're not that person that would be like a stage 5 clinger and be desperate. You guys have a lot of natural wisdom, and you understand that if something needs to let go out of your life, then it will be replaced by something better. So if someone wants to break up with you, you'd be like, okay, that's fine. But I honestly feel like y'all, I don't know if y'all have ever gotten broken up with, or I feel like if you have, it's rare for you guys, because you guys just seem like you have so many people wrapped around your finger. I'm almost seeing like a long line of people like behind anyone you're dating, and they probably know that. So they're like, okay, let me keep this together. Let me not break up with this person at all, because I know there's going to be someone taking my place really quick. But I also feel like a lot of you guys like your alone time anyway, so you're kind of hard to get, because you're just like, well, I like spending time with my favorite person, aka me. But I feel like I keep getting, yeah, you guys are comfortable with uncertainty. You're comfortable with a lot of nuance. You aren't black and white thinkers that think there's only one way to do things or only one way to live. And this is why probably people see you as very non-judgmental and are constantly telling you their business, is because they can sense this non-judgmental quality. It's almost like you also kind of have a mothering quality like Cancer, which makes sense with all the water energy, because I feel like people feel like they can come to you and kind of get healing energy from you, and you're kind of like that mother they wish they had. Like you're that mom that they can come to and be like, I'm so embarrassed, but I cheated on my boyfriend or something, and you'll be like, oh, that's okay. Listen, everyone makes mistakes, and you're not going to scream at them and tell them what a failure they are or tell them how much they messed up. You're very understanding and sweet, and you see also the beauty in the world. And this is where I'm getting like that manic pixie dream girl energy, is because I feel like the hallmark of them is they're always, you know, being like, look, a rose, let me stop to smell it, or oh my god, my favorite flavor of ice cream, you have to try it, or like, let's go dance under the moonlight and stuff. People make fun of that a lot in like online discourse, but I think that's such a beautiful energy that we should all strive to be in this world. And you guys have it figured out, where you guys are that type to, you know, take in the smell of the night air, or feel the breeze on your face, or really appreciate the lines of like a tree and the way the leaves are shaped. You guys really take the time to appreciate being on this earth. It's almost like you guys are an earth angel, and maybe because you have one foot in the astral realm, you see the miracle and the beauty of this earth, because we were put on this planet on one hand to appreciate the beauty of the natural surroundings, and that's why, you know, spirit made this earth so beautiful, and God made all the clouds and the greenery and the, you know, mountains and all this stuff, is because we're supposed to be surrounded by beauty, and you guys understand that. You understand the spiritual truth of that, so you see the beauty in your everyday life. And you know, it's so funny, because I think the more someone consumes beauty, the more they become beautiful, the more they take the time out to fill their heart with beauty and actually take time to, you know, stare at a sunset or to smell a beautiful flower or whatever it is, the more that beauty seeps into their spirit. And I feel like you guys have figured it out. And that's one of the reasons why you have such strong Venus energy and beauty energy around you, is you surround yourself with beautiful things. This is maybe also why you have this beautiful sense of fashion that I keep getting. Probably also good at interior decorating, interior design. You probably make your interior space beautiful as well. But some of you guys might be messy, because I am getting a little, like I said, a little like absent-minded professor or whatever energy, where you might not be be the most organized, but you definitely see the beauty in the world and surround yourself with things that maybe other people might not even understand. But I feel like you guys would be ahead of trends anyway. And like they might not get it now, but they'll get it in a few years when all their favorite celebrities are doing it. They'll get it once it's everywhere and it's the #1 design trend and you were doing it years ago and people were like, what is that? Why do you have that in your room? But I feel like you guys just have this eye for beauty. So they should really learn that you are ahead of the crowd and the things you like are just going to be on point and filled with Venus energy. So I really hope that helped you guys. Let me know in the comments if it resonated. I love hearing your stories and your thoughts. And make sure to leave it a big thumbs up and a like if it resonated with you guys. Also, you can check out my Patreon if you want to see more videos. My link for that is in my bio, and I will be back very soon for another reading here on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed. Sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey Pile 4, so if you guys picked this French bread loaf, this is going to be your reading. So it really does look like the real thing. It has all this flour crusted on the top and a lot of detailing on the bottom. I mean, it really looks like a real bread loaf and perfect for slicing open and putting some sandwich ingredients in the middle, or maybe just having with a nice thing of salted butter. Oh my God, it sounds so good. And it's actually like huge, so I'm just gonna put it off on the side. But anyway, let's get into your reading. You guys got the Queen of Wands, Page of Swords, Six of Cups, the Fool, the Chariot, Page of Pentacles, and Three of Pentacles. So I feel like with the Queen of Wands, first of all, Spirit is saying people admire your energy. I feel like a lot of you guys, you just have this kind of light exuding from you guys and this enthusiasm, I feel like, for life. I feel like with the Six of Cups also, a lot of you guys have not lost touch with your childhood self. So even though you may be an adult or maybe having to like go to work at a 9 to 5, I feel like you still have interests and hobbies that are just things that you really enjoy and things that maybe even are from your childhood or just give you that happy childhood feeling of like just joy in the moment. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's not, I feel like nowadays there's so much pressure to monetize everything and to have a side hustle and to monetize hobbies, but it seems like you guys have mastered the art of just doing things out of pure enjoyment, and it really radiates from you guys. I feel like people can see this kind of joy and happiness that you bring to everything around you and also to other people around you, because joy and happiness and high vibration energy is contagious. So I feel like the people around you really benefit from the vibe you guys have. I feel like a lot of you guys bring happiness to people around you in the sense that you don't allow yourself to get bogged down with negativity. You always try to kind of find a silver lining and find the positive energy and find, you know, what could be possibly good about it. And also with the Chariot and the Queen of Wands, you guys just have a ton of natural energy. You guys might be fire signs, Aries, Leo, or Sag, but I'm definitely getting that kind of joy, excitement, and just energy that they bring into anything. Like one thing I love about fire signs is I feel like they're always ready to go. Like I have two siblings that are fire sign sons, and it's so funny because I'm a water sign and I will always be like talking to them offhandedly about like, you know, we should go to this restaurant, or like I heard it's really good. And then, you know, if I talk to my brother about this, he'll be like standing up being like, okay, let's go, yeah, right now, so do you want to drive or should I? And I'm like, I was just talking about it like generally speaking. I was just theorizing. That's like water signs do, is we like overthink. So I was just putting it out there. I wasn't actually thinking of going, but I love that vibe and that attitude of like constantly just rushing in and not overthinking and not sitting around putting together a pros and cons list and, you know, thinking it through, then changing your mind, then going back and forth, which is kind of what us water signs do. But fire signs just tend to rush in with a ton of enthusiasm and kind of look before they leap. But I feel like it can be such a beautiful energy. They don't sit around thinking, they honestly just take action. And I feel like the people around you love, again, it's almost like a childish energy in the best way, because kids tend to just rush in and have fun, and they don't need to, you know, they're not kind of of bogged down by like trauma. You know, they kind of keep themselves like, they don't think about like, oh, I was rejected the last time I asked someone out, so I'm not gonna go up to that person. I'm just, you know what, I'm just gonna keep to myself. They probably think I'm a loser. They just go up to like the girl they like and like give them a flower and they're like, hi, I like you. Like there's like this kind of guilelessness, I feel like, to kids that I feel like a lot of you guys have, where you kept your childish enthusiasm. I'm seeing that lady from Under the Tuscan Sun, one of my favorite movies, and there's a lady in it who is kind of eccentric. I don't know what that noise was, but anyway, I hope you guys aren't distracted by that. But anyway, she's kind of eccentric, and I think they meet her when she's just eating ice cream, and that's what she does throughout the movie. Even though she's in her 50s or 60s, she's always enjoying ice cream or dancing in like a fountain or dressing super glamorously. She has younger lovers, and she's such like a fire sign energy of just being in love with life and never losing. And that's one thing she says, is you must never lose your childish enthusiasm. And I feel like you guys figured that out and you take time to actually enjoy things and actually have fun. And I feel like that's really infectious for the people around you. They see you guys enjoying something and maybe they wouldn't even be usually into it, like, oh, this party's kind of lame, but you guys make it fun, and next thing they know, they're actually laughing and having a good time. So you have this beautiful infectious quality to you that other people, when they're in your presence, they start to feel happier, they start to enjoy, they start to see the beauty in things as well. I also feel like with the Page of Swords, a lot of you guys are, you know, deep thinkers, possibly highly creative, and even though you may come off as just totally happy-go-lucky, you have a lot of deep thoughts, but you guys always transmute it into positivity and enthusiasm. You really try that, even if you're feeling upset about something, to try to find something positive, to try to raise your vibration up. And whether you realize it or not, this is a very high level spiritual concept that I feel like, you know, people are always talking about within the spiritual community, keeping a high vibe, keeping yourself in a positive manifestation energy. And you guys do that naturally. So people just really respect that about you. They might not understand that concept, but they intuitively know that you guys are always doing that. And I feel like because of this enthusiasm and energy that you guys have, you guys might be very successful and might be capable of starting a lot of businesses, because you kind of have this boundless energy that I feel like so many people would be so jealous to have the amount of energy you guys have and the amount of ideas you guys have. The amount of like knowledge of different subjects you guys have. So I feel like, and the thing is, even if you guys don't have a ton of knowledge, you're always willing to try, you're always willing to give it a shot. And that's such an advantage, because so many people, they're so afraid of looking stupid, or they feel like they have to be a master at something before they try it. And I feel like you guys know, and this is correct, that it's okay to just jump in kind of heads first and see what happens, you know? It's okay to try something before you've reached master level. It's okay to put something out there before it's perfect. And like, done is better than perfect. And I feel like you guys have that beautiful quality about you of not overthinking to a point that's detrimental and just giving it your best shot. So other cards we got are Lay of the Land, Ancestral Wisdom, Magician's Sword, Confidence in your magic, Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life, and Wailing Tree, Reconciliations. And one more, we have First Breath, Beginner's Mind. So like I said, you keep a youthful vibe to you, and like your mind is like a young person's mind. Even if you're older, I feel like you guys would be the type to keep up on trends, or keep up on how things are changing, or keep up on the different social media networks. Even though you might be like older than the demographic, your mind is very youthful and young. And if you're still young, you'll keep that for life. You might come off to people as younger than you are. They might be like, wait, you're how old? And if you're still young, you might have not grown into this stage yet, but you guys will always come off as a little bit younger than you are. But not because you're immature, but more because you guys kept those good parts of being a kid and having kind of an innocence to you and having an excitability. Like, I think it's so funny when I look back on like this place where we used to vacation in the summers, and there was this park nearby, and I literally thought that park was like Disney World times 10. I would get so excited to go to the park, and we would be like screaming, you know, like with joy when we would get to go to the park, me and my siblings. And so I went back as an adult just for like nostalgia's sake, and I was like, oh, this park is so awesome, I can't wait to see it. And of course, now that I'm an adult, I was like, okay, cool. So there's like a slide, and it's actually kind of a cool park. It's like done over the top. So there's, a lot of like decoration too. Like the slide is like a snake and stuff like that. But I mean, it's not something I'm necessarily super excited about. And after like 5 minutes, I was like, well, can we go? Like, yeah, this is really cool. And I'm glad I saw it. But like, I have no desire to ride on the swings or on the slides. And I was thinking about how, like, when you're a kid, those same things, you get so excited about the smallest thing. Or your parent is like, we're getting ice cream. And you're like, ice cream? Oh my God, I can't believe it. You're so happy. And now, if you have ice cream as an adult and you like, order it from the grocery store or get it from the grocery store, you're like, yeah, that was good. Yeah, I like that flavor. So, anyway, and it's like there's such a beauty to keeping that happiness and that joy radiating out of you at all times. And it's also a great manifestation ability. So, I feel like you guys would be great manifestors because you guys are so positive. You're that kind of person that things just naturally happen that are good for you. Naturally, like the cashier is like, hey, you know what? By the way, let me just give you this coupon. It's someone left it and you're so nice. I'm just going to give it to you. Or like, someone's like, oh, well, actually we sold out, but let me check in the back. I actually think there's one hidden and I wouldn't usually get it for anyone. And you're so sweet. So I'm going to get it for you. Or they just randomly take a liking to you and you find yourself getting free stuff or just having people go out of their way to help you. And it's because you guys are really master manifestors and we have confidence in your magic. So whatever you put your mind to, you guys manage to make it a success. You guys have a ton of courage, whereas I feel like so many people, and I have a lot of sympathy for it, so I'm not trying to put it down or anything, but a lot of people suffer with anxiety or they can get bogged down by the trauma that just happens, when we pass through life and stuff. But you guys have managed to keep yourselves, and I'm not saying y'all don't have trauma or haven't dealt with difficult stuff, but I feel like at the end of the day, you're always still going to be fighting. No one's going to ever going to fully take you out. You're always going to be like, bring it on, baby. And you're going to always stay positive and stay uplifted and be focusing on what's next rather than getting bogged down in the past. And that's such a fire sign energy. That's something I just love about fire signs is that they're always paying attention to the future and living in the present and the now. And it's funny because like Aries have kind of a strong temper and that's why they're ruled by Mars. But I love arguing with Aries because honestly, they're so forgiving. And like, if there's an issue, they'll forget it in like 2 seconds. They'll forget it in like 2 minutes. They're over it. They don't really care. Like, they got really mad in the moment, but then they're like, totally on to the next because fire signs seriously live in the present and in the future. And that's just what I'm getting for you guys is, you guys are constantly focused on what can I do next? What's the next thing? What's happening that I can be new that I can bring into my life. And I feel like in that way with wailing tree reconciliations, if I can say that, you guys might have a lot of people from your past that try to come back to you or try to hit you up because they're kind of like, they moved on really fast and really happily. And they're kind of like offended almost like, why are they doing so well? Or why I didn't know they were just going to be thriving within like a few days of a breakup. And it kind of like hits them wrong. And it's like people, yeah, they realize kind of what they had once you're gone. And they see how you guys just constantly keep it positive, constantly keep it moving. And I feel like people have such respect for that. And with Lay of the Land ancestral wisdom, you guys might get a lot of downloads and stuff from your ancestors and have a lot of ancestors helping you. I also feel like you guys, honestly, your spirit feels fairly new. Like, I don't feel like you have been incarnated a million times. And the Aries is the baby of the zodiac. And I keep mentioning Aries and I'm getting an Aries vibe. Aries is that little newborn baby in the best sense, like very sullied by the world. They haven't been through all this dark stuff that we all have to go through. They're just happy and pure, and there's this enthusiasm and happiness and newness to everything they do. But I feel like you guys might be surrounded by ancestors. You might have a lot of ancestors around you guiding you at all times. So other cards we got Queen of the light, illumination, enlightenment, celebration. The dream walker, dreams, the collective good, illusions. The spiral dancer, circuitous route, perception. Wise woman of wonderland, integrity, compromise. And the spirit whisperer, divine guidance, higher knowing. So a lot of you guys are very in touch, like I said, with your ancestors or with the spirit realm. You guys are very divinely intelligent and very wise about a lot of things. Even though you're very youthful, you also have a really strong connection to the divine. And I feel like in a way, it's because you guys are so innocent that your ancestors and your guides give you so many downloads, because they want to watch out for you in the same way that you would watch out for like a kid or something. Not saying the kid is not intelligent, but because when you're trusting and you're sweet and when you're open, you need a little more extra protection. So I feel like you guys do have that. I feel like your guides and your team really watches out for you, and you also are very connected to that realm. You are very aware because you spend time up there, and I feel like hang out with them. And I feel like in a way, a lot of kids can have more spiritual knowledge than even someone older, because when you come into this lifetime, you're fresh out of the other realm. So you're still very connected up there. And so it just seems like you guys have so much connection to the other side, psychic abilities possibly for a lot of you guys. And I feel like a lot of you guys are very creative. We got dreams, and maybe you guys have very vivid dreams, but I also feel like you could be getting creative downloads, and you might really be into dancing as well with spirit dancer, or other forms of self-expression like painting or writing. I feel like all of this would be stuff that's very intuitive for you. You don't necessarily like to overthink. You are highly intelligent, but you're not someone who wants to sit around and, think about a situation in 500 different ways and go back and forth and, whip yourself into a frenzy over it. You would rather kind of do and just make it happen. And so I feel like a lot of your art would be very intuitive, very feeling based, very immediate. Like you're not going to overthink and write the most complicated novel that is 450 pages long, or 10, I don't know, 100 or 1,000 pages long or whatever. So you guys you would be more prone to do like art or things of self-expression that are more immediate, if that makes sense, that don't require getting in your head a million times and keeping track of a super long list of names. It seems like a lot of your expression would be very fast. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get this concept across, but I feel like you guys are like queens of not overthinking, which I love. You know that some of the most primal and emotionally impressive things just come immediately from the heart. They don't need to be thought over a million times and intellectualized. They just need to be felt and just acted on. And if you feel an instinct, you tend to go for it. And I really love that about you. That's such deep intuitive knowledge. So we also got Skull of Flowers, Dawn, Joy, and Mummy Change. So this one says creating through the ashes, Dawn, the light after the darkness. Joy says rejoicing in the present, and you guys live so much in the present. I also want to focus on the light after darkness because we have a lot of cards that have to do with light. We got cards about enlightenment. We got the Queen of Wands, where there is this big flame burning on this pillar behind her. I feel like you guys bring so much light to those around you, and happiness and joy. I feel like some of you guys, you make the people around you laugh, whether it's on purpose or not. And I feel like I'm hearing they're so grateful to you for your presence in their life because you just make it a lot better. I feel like you are that type of person that can take any boring night and make it fun. If people are staying in and they're like, we just want a quiet night and we're just gonna watch movies, you're that person who'll be like, okay, I'll go rent this movie, or I will download this movie. You're gonna love it. Let me go out and grab some candy and popcorn. We're gonna make it a whole thing. Let's dress up in funny PJs or something like that. Like, you just know how to make it fun. You guys are like the party starter or the straw that stirs the drink. So you guys are that kind of hidden element that when you come to a party, it really really starts and people start having fun, whether they, even if you're not the loudest person there, just your energy, your enthusiasm is contagious, and people, you just put a smile on people's faces. I feel like you don't understand how important this energy is and how many people who may have been going through a really hard time you have affected. I feel like there are people around you that may have not smiled in days or weeks or talked to anyone. And then you come around and you're bright and bubbly, happy, optimistic. And next thing they know, they're smiling, they're laughing, they're having a good time. And you almost dissolve fear because, it's like that quote, which I love. I don't know who said it. I think I don't know. I don't want to guess, but it's like hate can't drive out darkness. Only love can do that, and only light can do that. And that's what you guys do. You bring this light to things. And it's like people might not even take that seriously at first. They might be like, "Oh, they're just lighthearted. They never take anything seriously. They're just a class clown." And they don't realize that that's so powerful. For me, when I started manifesting, one of the most powerful things I did was keeping myself happy. And by that I mean when you're going through a hard time, watching a lighthearted movie or whatever. I mean, I don't like movies that much, to be honest, because I just have a short attention span, but like watching something that makes me happy, watching, even if it's a short YouTube video of like a puppy doing something silly or something, if that is what makes you happy, then, go for it and watch that and, put a smile on your face. And I feel like you guys do that for the people around you. I feel like you guys just make people around you so happy, and they don't realize how spiritually powerful this is. That you're basic people think that like to get away from darkness or from the bad things in life, they have to fight them, they have to be super aggressive and be like, hey, but actually it's that pure energy of just happiness and joy is literally like lighting a match or a candle or turning on the lights in a dark room, and suddenly the darkness just flees. It's no match for it. People don't realize how powerful the light is, pure energy is, and that's what you guys carry around with you. And it's a gift you truly bestow on the people around you. Your spirit, your energy, your enthusiasm, your happiness, your smile. I feel like it just makes people's day. I feel like people just see you walking down the street, like listening to music with your headphones on and just, kind of bopping your head. And you don't realize that people driving past in cars, like kind of smile and like laugh a little, not in a mocking way, but like, oh, that's so cute. Like, oh, look at that girl. She looks like she's really like enjoying that song, kind of a thing. Like, even if you guys aren't feeling like you're doing anything super powerful or impacting, you are impacting so many people. And I feel like you might not realize how many people you really have affected and brought back from the brink, or that were having a horrible time and were in a spiral of negative energy, and just being around you was like, whew, just brought them out of it and just brought so much beauty and joy to their life. And your joy that you carry around is a very potent thing. And that's why, one of the reasons why fire signs were put on this planet. All the elements are super equally important. And I feel like sometimes fire signs don't get their due for that, that they are put on this planet to be joyful, to be in the moment, to take people out of their heads, because water and air can be super in their heads especially, and root them back in the present and the appreciation of like a sunset, a sunrise, the smell of cookies baking, and the smile on your friend's face when you tell them a joke, and that feeling of excitement when you have a crush. Those are such beautiful, positive things. I'm thinking of, who is it? The lady from Sound of Music, Maria Von Trapp, and she's singing My Favorite Things and just listing all the beautiful things like raindrops on roses and crisp apple strudel. I don't know all the lyrics, but you know what I mean? They're just random things. But she's saying, whenever I'm in a negative place, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. And even though it may seem like, okay, this chick is singing about apple strudel, like what the heck? This is the song. But it's like, that's one of the most famous songs because there's something so potent about that, about staying present in the moment and appreciating the beauty of things. And I really just can't emphasize enough that I think you've brought so much to so many people's lives with this energy of happiness that you carry through to you guys. So yeah, let's get into more cards. We got Maple Spirit, Generosity, Bluebird Spirit, Happiness, Hummingbird Spirit, Joy, and Butterfly Spirit, Transformation, and Phoenix, Transmutation. So yeah, there is something where I feel like some of you guys have faced a lot of obstacles, but you transform and transmute it into something beautiful. You rise like a phoenix from the ashes. If people try to hit you with like, I'm gonna screw, because I am getting, some people are offended by your positive energy, and you might be surprised that once in a while there's someone that just has a shockingly negative reaction to you, like is super mean to you for no reason. And I'm hearing from spirit that you should take it as a compliment. I'm hearing that line from Taylor Swift's Gorgeous, the way she says it, and she says you should take it as a compliment that I'm making fun of your accent and stuff, because it's because I find you so gorgeous. And it's like, you should take it as a compliment that people are reacting to you like that, because like Taylor says, it's because you're so beautiful. It's because some people's darkness, like I said, light drives out darkness. And when someone is filled with dark energy, filled with traumas they never bothered to address and work through, filled with just feeling bogged down by deep negativity that's basically crawled over and attached itself to them all over, and you come around and you're bright and bubbly, it irritates them because it's driving out this darkness that they're now very attached to, and it honestly feels like a threat to them. It feels like you came up and you might as well have stabbed them, because they recognize it as a threat to their identity and their current state. So they are going to react strongly, but it's so important that you guys realize where it's coming from and realize that it's because you're positive, and it's a good thing. Anyone who's positive is going to provoke these reactions in these kinds of people. That's your job, is to make it uncomfortable for them, because someone with not as much of a positive energy as you are is going to be possibly taken down by their darkness and their level of negativity, and is going to be really affected by it and maybe absorb some of it themselves. But you have this natural light radiating from you, blocking out anything like that. And so um and so like you're like, spiritually speaking, you're like the unbeatable warrior. You're like Hercules, or I'm seeing like Arnold Schwarzenegger with his huge muscles in like the 70s or whatever. Like, you're someone who's just like ripped, unbeatable, like Floyd Mayweather nowadays, how he, wins all his fights. I know he's controversial or whatever, and yeah, so I'm not commenting. I'm just saying, like, he wins or whatever. So definitely not supporting evil behavior or anything, but I'm just saying you guys are undefeated. And so it's like, you should know that that's your job, is to kind of go up to random dark-sided energy people who are in a bad place and disrupt them, because they need to be disrupted so they don't spread it around to everyone else. And so I know it's burdensome for you to have to deal with that and have to deal with people getting mad at you sometimes, but know that that is a compliment. It's a beautiful testament to the strength of your energy, and you should be so proud and thrilled with yourself, because you were tasked with an extremely powerful spiritual mission. Your happiness and joy, I mean, Spirit's not stuttering on this reading, they're being very specific, is totally just such a gift to this world, and so contagious and so beautiful. And even you going out in the world and smiling at people and talking to that cashier and being like, hey, how was your day? Which I feel like you guys naturally do. And if you don't do it, you need to start, because your energy is this beautiful gift. And I'm seeing someone like feeding the birds and, scattering out bird. And we do have a bird right on my windowsill now. And you got so much bird energy. Maybe you guys are like connected to small birds and stuff, or something like that. It might be your spirit animals or something. But I feel like, yeah, I'm seeing someone feeding birds and like scattering out, whatever they feed them, seeds. And so you guys, I feel like that's you, like scattering your beautiful energy into the world, and people like run around and grab the tidbits and grab each seed and like choke it down. They're so excited to have it, because they feel your presence. You're so used to your happy, positive energy that you don't really necessarily recognize how rare it is, and how many people are stuck in like a deep, sad energy from the stuff they've had to deal with. And that you coming around with that gorgeous, beautiful smile, happy energy, positivity is like gold. You might as well be handing out bars of gold to people. And so that's why you provoke such strong reactions from people in either positive or negative ways, because some people don't like that. Some people don't want the gold, they don't want anything to do with it, but most people are going to be like so excited for it. even you going out into the world and just existing is a form of generosity and almost a form of charity. So I really feel like you guys, I want to task you with kind of going out, smiling, being kind to people, because there's such a beauty in your smile and there's such a gift that you guys have just existing with your energy. So spread it to the world. That is one of your life purposes, is just to spread your contagious joy, happiness, and love that you carry with you as an innate part of yourself with others who may be lacking it in that moment, or feeling alone, or feeling sad and down and depressed. You have the power to just drive that out with one smile and one, a kind word. Specifically, you guys really do. So I hope you guys will use it. I know you already do, but yeah, this is just so powerful. I'm so glad we ended on this, because what a beautiful energy to end on. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments if it resonated. I love hearing your stories and your thoughts, and make sure to give it a big thumbs up as well. And if you want to check out my other videos, you can check out my Patreon, link in my bio, and check that out. And I will be back here again soon posting more videos, so make sure you're subscribed. So I'll see you guys then, sending you so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye.